our business is going to be completely different. So I'm really painting that vision for our team. I'm having our team specifically write up a list of the people that their dream team of people that they want to invite. We've talked about people they've talked to in the past, and we've talked about raving fan customers, people they've never introduced the business to, people that are on their chicken list, but really using this next couple of days before the blitz starts June 1st to really get together a list of people that you want to introduce and let know about our opportunity. Really getting your sponsor, your upline involved in helping you through that list, because if you're brand new, you might write this list and say, oh my gosh, I have no idea how I'm going to reach out to that person, or what would I say? And that's where the sponsor can really come in and say, you know what, tell me more about this person. What do you like about them? I know Cheryl uses a sheet that you can fill out that, specifically you write down what you love about them, why you want them to join. And so really partnering with your upline or your sponsor and coming up with a game plan on how you're going to ask them. You don't just want to spam this list of 10 people. These are your babies. These are your close contacts. These are people that you really want to invite. And so I would work with your sponsor to really craft a way to invite them. It could be inviting them to a 3-way call. It could be asking them if they're open to just learning more with a video. It could be joining an event like this. And so just really being brave and knowing that we have just such a great opportunity. So that's what our team is really focused on right now, this week leading up to June 1st, is get your list together. It's going to be a running list, getting a separate notebook for the blitz, really making this something special for yourself. Maybe you buy a special pen, maybe you go and get a new notebook, where you're really creating this new opportunity for really a 90-day run at your business. And this could completely, change your entire trajectory of where you're headed. And I know we have a lot of people on here that have big goals, or you wouldn't be on this call. And so to really see this as a fabulous opportunity. So that's what kind of, Cheryl, that's how we're doing. That's our pregame.
That's your pregame. And I think that's a great thing to talk about. It's a pregame. And I am looking at it as the 90-day game plan for the summer. It's perfect timing. It's summertime, 3 months equal 90 days. How often do you hear about putting together the 90-day game plan? Now, just to be a little specific, if you haven't really heard about the Blitz yet, it's going to be that the company will waive the $52 fee on the app for anyone that you would like to bring on as a partner, anyone they want to bring on as a partner. So it continue on, write down as many people as you can possibly reach or talk to. And I love Amanda's idea, and I think it's such great strategy. I love the idea of go get a special notebook and get a special pen. I would get a pen with sparkles all over it, or a big diamond on the top to remind you.
I told my team, I'm like, if your life is going to change, you need a new pen, right? Like,
but something that'll remind you that this could be a real, turning point for your business. Now, again, it's 90 days. They're waiving that fee for 90 days. So realize that this is a special event. And the reason for it is really to kind of boost us along, you might say, in what's happening to us. And that's that our company is doubling its business over a 5-year period. Now, that actually started last year. We had the largest year ever last year. If they, giving us statistics, we did $100 million more in production this last year than the year before. So I would say that's a good little step up. Okay, and we will see as the company now is very, I guess you would say, forward thinking and really expanding throughout the world, doing whatever needs to be done to to make that happen, because that is the goal. So you want to take part in that doubling. You want your check to double or triple, or you don't have to stay with double, go triple or quadruple. You can do that. There's no limit on it. But I love the idea too of get a list going. Who are the people as you said, Amanda, you're looking at the customer base, Who could you introduce it to in the customer base? Who have you introduced it to in the past that now this may be the right time? Uh, who, have you never introduced it to, but, this might be the right time? And who are you going to meet that you don't know that you could introduce it to? So, but get that running, I always like to call it my hit list. Okay. Get your hit list going and really concentrate on how many. Now, if we look at the numbers, when we had the 2-day blitz, or was it 2 days or 3 days, Amanda? I think
It was two.
two, and you were limited to one. It didn't continue on, but they brought on over 7,000 partners company wide. Okay, so if that was over 2 days, realize there was an urgency. You just had 2 days. You have 3 months now, but I would really look at, how many people do you personally want to have on your team, in your personal business, in your whole team? What do you want that number to look like by the end of that 90-day period? And I would be a little aggressive about that if I were you. Just, blow the doors off, because they really, I was talking with Simon Bowler, who heads the European business corporate, and he says, we've always, when it comes to that contract fee, that has been something that, they've never really moved on, except that one time. We did it once in 2014 here last year, and they're going to do it here for the summer. But that's to give everybody an edge as we really see our company with great growth happening and continuing to happen. Also, you might just keep an ear out. I kind of have a little, I have heard kind of through the grapevine, but not allowed to announce it. But you would want to thank North America. Thank North America, okay? And if you hear anything about that, you didn't hear it from me, but just thank North America, and realize that you can, you're going to have this in many different directions to work with, not just the US. I didn't say that. But anyway, it's exciting. And the other thing, and Amanda, you may want to comment on this too, we've all had a most unusual year, to say the least. I have a hard time, it's almost like you feel displaced. Do y'all ever feel like you're kind of like displaced in a way that you're, we knew what life was like before. We're not sure exactly how it's coming around, but it seems to be opening up. And so, like you just said, Amanda, it's going to be a very different summer this summer as compared to last summer. And I think this is a wonderful way to, introduce people back into, you might say, just the flow of life. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think people are ready to, well, first of all, is just people have been working from home, and you've got this group of people now that are moving back into an office potentially, that may not want to go back to an office, or may not, they've loved the flexibility of having that home-based business, so to speak. And now they're going, my husband's one of those people, he's back into an office now. And so I think it's a whole, we've had a mindset shift around this idea of being very flexible. So I think our business fits really well into that. Obviously it's complete flexibility. And so I think there's a whole new group of people that we're very relevant with now to say, you know what, this may be something to take a look at as is either a side income, a supplemental income that eventually, possibly could lead to a full-time income. But keeping your ears open for people after this year of being at home that may want more of that, right? That may want more flexibility in their life and are enjoying that piece of it. And then obviously you've got those people that have had complete shifts this past year in their profession, people that have lost jobs, they're doing things they don't want to do anymore. They've taken jobs, but it's not really where they want to be. I think we've all just had a lot of time to think about and be at home with ourselves and think about, what do we want more in our life of? What do we miss? We miss our friends, we miss our family, we miss traveling. And I feel like we can really speak to people around that. Again, listening for their why, their pain point. We always are a connector to something that they express to us that they have concern around, or they want more of. And this is again, we're problem solvers. I say we're professional problem solvers and connectors. And so, you know what? I was just thinking about our conversation. You told me blah, blah, blah. You know, you told me that you love being home with your kids. You told me you didn't love being home with your kids. You told me you miss traveling. You know, have you ever considered having a side-based business that could give you a little travel money? So really just weaving it in again, listening to those stories after this past year because they've changed. So just because you've listened to somebody a year ago, 2 years ago, they are different, we are different, the world is different, people are used to working from everywhere, and we are just going to fit right into that. And the only other thing I would say is just summer, people are ready to be out, they're ready to be with people in community. Health is on people's minds. So again, we are just the perfect fit for that, whether it's yoga and smoothies, whether it's salad in a jar, whether it's walking and wellness. We have something that really fits in with people that will check a lot of boxes of what people are craving right now.
And I think that's such wise advice. I mean, and it's so easy to start conversations around, the fact that now that you've been home more, does that feel good? Is that something you wish would go on forever? Or can you hardly wait to be back? I know when I go to exercise now, it's not big exercise. I'm not weightlifting. It's more like physical therapy, okay? But what my physical therapist said, he said, I've realized that it's so valuable to be at home. And he has two really small children. He said, I realized I don't have to work from early in the morning till late in the afternoon. I want to be home more. So it's almost like people are showing up telling me. I also share with you, I'd gotten this bill. Thank God it was wrong. It was like from my insurance company, and they wanted $22,000 for my home insurance. And I thought, okay, I can't afford to own my home for sure if this is what it's going to cost. But it was a mistake, thank goodness. But just that small conversation of getting that straightened out, and then I'm talking to her, and she says, and again, tell me what you're doing. Before long, she says, okay, we really need to be healthy. This whole office needs to be healthy. Would you come up here and just tell us about it? Because we're just coming back to work, and I think everybody's a little, it's almost like people are trying to merge back into their lives. And health, they really want to make sure that they're going to be okay from a health standpoint. So there's just so many avenues, as Amanda's just said, for this. So I think it would be a great thing to brainstorm on with your immediate team, with your upline. What are the various approaches, you might say, that would really fit really well? Because right now it's a magical time if you just take advantage of the time that we're in right now. I truly believe we're in a totally magical time. So, I think if we can look at this summer as the 90-day game plan to really kick off the future, and invite people to be part of your business. Don't hesitate, and some of them will start and they won't do anything, but you don't know who the people are that are going to it's going to light their world, but it does give us a wonderful way to broach the subject, you might say, to start talking about our business, that for the summer this has happened. And I think there are a lot of ways that people in companies are trying to get people back into, I guess you would say, the rhythm of life that we knew before we were all just virtual. And I think this is a great boost for us. Anything else you want to share, Amanda, or should we ask if anybody has any questions in regard to the blitz?
Yeah, the only thing I was going to remind everyone, just to keep it simple, go with the Freedom Revolution. Everything is on there that you need. They've updated it. There's a get started button that's just for new people. The password is welcome. Everything is clickable. There's links that are beautiful. Everything is there. So if you haven't really taken the time, again, your pregame this weekend should be really getting familiar with that the Freedom Revolution updates, so that when you bring your first 5 new teammates on June 1st, that you know what to do with them, right? So really getting in your mindset and getting ready. Linda, my sponsor, has said to me, she goes, what if you had 5 rock stars show up today? Would you know what to do with them? So I'm going to ask you the same question. If you have 10 new people join your business on Tuesday, do you know what to do with them? Do you know how to lead them through a fast track? Do you know where to show them that the printable forms are? Do you know how to help them get started on a welcome call. Do you know how to place orders? So just getting your house in order this weekend, you're getting your side of the street, so to speak, ready, so that when they come, you're prepared, right? And then you're going to be more confident, so that when you do have your 5 or 10 new people joining Tuesday, you are going to be ready. So that would be the other advice I would have.
And I really love the idea of pregame, your pregame plan. What's the pregame plan? Because you really just have, I guess, June the 1st is what, Tuesday, right? So that's really the kickoff day. So I would definitely, your game plan in place. That pregame launch is a great idea. To really be ready for it. And Amanda's totally right. Everything's in place for you, and it's on the Your Juice Plus, which is the All Things Digital. Now, if you go to sign someone up on the Classic Office, it will charge you the $52. So you need to make sure that you go to My Juice Plus, the new virtual office, and everything's there for you to just. And that's the great thing, is duplication can happen very quickly with everything in place. So how a person starts is outlined exactly there. Everything's right there. So you really want to take advantage of that and be real familiar with it, would be the other thing, as Amanda said. So I think we're in for a rocking summer. Okay. And if you're bringing a big team together, and this is the perfect opportunity to do it, it's going to create an energy and a synergy of its own that's going to also take life. I've always found, and it's one of the reasons that we really have promoted, and it's for so many reasons, that you want to be really, really wide with your business. That means as many people sponsored directly to you as possible. And you really want to concentrate on that, because what happens is, people don't become complacent if they know there are a lot of folks that are vying for your attention. They want to get started. If there are a lot of people, nobody wants to be left behind. It creates a sense of urgency, which is vital in our business, sense of urgency. So the great thing about it really ensures that as people grow up, and as we know, there are going to be some who will be superstars. There will be some who will be good and steady and strong sales coordinators. And there'll be some who really will start and not do anything. So that safety in numbers is very, very powerful. And this is another chance to really ensure that you have that safety in numbers, you have that width. And width always creates energy. It makes it a lot easier for you to say, I've got 8 new people front line. I can take 2 people to QSC this month. Who wants to go? Well, if they all raise their hand, I'll get them all there. Okay. But it is, that you get to create that kind of healthy competition that doesn't happen if there's one person, because they feel like they can get or capture all the attention. So the other thing too is, if you can help people secure not only their own start, but help them get new people right away. And that's why I think it's so great that it's set up right now, that it's going to be everything's there for someone to start brand new. It can duplicate very quickly. So the real secret I've always found of creating strength and securing your new team is that when you have new frontline, you want to immediately, within the first 3 days, help that person get some team members, and then immediately in their first 3 or 4 days, help those people get new team members. So work in 1, 2, 3. If I learned anything from Jeff or Bertie, it was is that I would secure the team if people had new teams starting up with them, because people will do a lot more for others than they'll for themselves. If you're just starting and there's no one else around you, and you get disappointed, you might not, hang in there quite as long enough to get past the first few bumps. But if you've got new team members, there's not only an inspiration there, but people show up for each other a lot stronger if they have team members. So helping people not only come on themselves, but then turn around and helping them get people, help those get people. And that, of course, is employing all the things that we know. This event, three-way calls, three-way Zooms. We're starting to have small gatherings here at my house, which is very exciting for me. I love having people in the house. And so, everything that you know to do as far as events, small events, virtual events, all of that sort of thing, this would be the time to really employ yourself at the highest level, because you've got something new to talk about. You'll have it to talk about here over the next 3 months, but let's really move on it so that there'll be time for people to gather people. You can have a huge organization with just in a 3-month period. So maybe we should ask, Amanda, do you think we should ask if anybody has any questions? Then if I don't know the answer, maybe you will. Okay.
Sure. Happy to
Okay.
answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions on this? Are you aware of it? Everybody good? Anyone want to ask? Everybody's ready to run? Do you all have your notebooks? Do you have your list? Okay, can we start now? Any questions on this? Okay, well, I guess then we're all ready to run. Another thing that I'll just share here in closing before we end, and I thank you, Amanda, for staying on with me and your input as well. And it may be out there if I can get my hands on the recording, I'm just going to accidentally put it out. Okay, but John Maxwell, the author, did a talk, and I loved it. I listened to it. He talks about the 5 essentials in your business that are foundational. And I thought I'd just share those with you right quick, because it's not anything we don't know, but I think they've been it was just very well put. And we were going to type this up also and send it out, but because I took pages and pages of notes. But he said there are 5 essentials. First of all, that you have to know what you want to accomplish. So, what do you want to accomplish in this blitz? How many people do you want in your business in 3 months? Don't play small here. Put a big number on it. It's always better to reach for the stars. Just reach for the highest. What do you want to accomplish? Do you have the right tools to get the job done? Would be the second one. Do you have the right tools to get the job done? Well, we've got a lot of things in place. Obviously, the company has now put everything you need right there for that new person to get started. There'll be very little for you to have to do right there initially as far as how someone signs up, what are the first things that they do. But then, of course, you want to get with those people and stay connected. That's very important. But the tools would be definitely what's already in place for this blitz, and all the things that we just mentioned that you're really well aware of, which would be all events, whether it's a one-on-one conversation or whether it's something that's done virtually or in person. And then the third thing would be take action. We can all have the best plans in the world, and you can think about the greatest things, but if you don't take action, nothing will happen. So take action. With activity and the right tools, you'll get the job done. So know what you want to accomplish, identify the tools, make sure you have the right tools, take action. The third would be stay focused. And this is huge because focus really is the greatest gift you can give yourself. People who really focus, and something I learned years ago, I watched someone who was a great presenter, and people would come up afterwards and tell him or want to talk to him or tell him how much they appreciated it or what they liked about it or wanted to meet him. And you would watch him, he would stay totally locked in on that person's eyes. Nothing else distracted him. And then when the next person stepped up, he did the same thing. And I think that kind of focus is really important for our business, that whatever the task is at hand, that you stay really focused, because that's when people access their highest abilities, is when they're focused. And then, of course, and a focus on that repetitive activity with the right tools, as he said, that would really, get the business done. And then the fifth, of course, we've said over and over many times, but it was be consistent. Excuse me. So whatever plan of action you choose, just go at it with gusto and be consistent. And he said one other thing that I really loved, I wanted to share with you at the very end of the talk, is your career is what you're paid for, but your calling is what you're made for. And I love that, because I think that we have a wonderful career. It can be part-time, it can grow into full-time, but the joy that goes along with what we do, if you feel that joy when you're involved in sharing with people, you hear their stories, you love that they have great results on Juice Plus, you love that you're making a difference in other people's lives, and that people are stepping out of financial fear because of you, because you've had the courage to share, then I think it's your calling. And so calling is what you're made for. And I love those two. I thought that was a great distinction. So we are a bit over time, but I appreciate you all. And I thank Amanda and her team for a great event tonight. And then I promised this week we're going to talk about qualifying your business, but right now we want to be poised and ready with your pregame in place, and ready to really, put that team on this summer that's gonna rock the world as we go forward, okay? Because our company will definitely double here in the next few years. The expansion, all of the new and innovative things we're coming out with, all those things will create a doubling, if not greater. You don't want to miss out on that. And this is a wonderful push, you might say, to really get all that started. So as Amanda just put in the chat, get ready to run. You got to get ready to run over the next 3 days, okay? And somebody saying they're ready, okay? So thanks to the speakers tonight. They were all great. And we look forward to seeing you back here next Thursday. And on our Monday night call, of course, on Monday night, we'll hear you there. But we can invite people, bring them to this call. We're here every Thursday night. And thanks to Carol and Josh. So good night, folks. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Cheryl.